Hello, this is Abby Jr. It's October 15th, 2021, and I'm going to be talking about blood vessels today. So starting off, I will start with the carotid arteries. So they're highlighted here in blue. This is the left carotid, which branches off of the aortic arch here. So that is the aorta, the aortic arch. It has three parts that come off of it, and then the right carotid artery branches indirectly off of the aorta, so it branches off of the brachiocephalic trunk, which is right here. Those are the carotids, and then next we have the subclavian arteries. Pictured here in blue, this is the right subclavian, and this is the left subclavian. Again, those are branched off of the aorta here, and they become the axillary artery, which I am highlighting with my mouse on either side. Those are the axillary arteries. So next we have the pulmonary arteries. I just highlighted all of it in blue. So right here's a pulmonary trunk which branches off on either side into the pulmonary arteries. And everything in blue is where those arteries are going into the lungs. It carries deoxygenated blood to be exhaled through respiration. So those are the pulmonary arteries. And then here we have the brachiocephalic trunk. So as I mentioned before, this branches off of the aortic arch, which turns into, up here is the right carotid, and then it goes into the right subclavian down to the axillary artery. So this is the brachiocephalic trunk on the right side, and on the left side it is over here. Can't really see it too well, but it's over there. And then we have the jugulars. So now we're talking about veins. The jugular veins, pictured here is the external veins. So it's kind of hard to see with the two colored blues, but it's this light blue over here. This is the right external jugular vein, and over here is the left external jugular vein. So these come off of the subclavian veins on either side. And then also pictured here is the internal jugulars. So right here, this bigger one, and this other bigger one, that is the left and right jugular veins. And yeah, so those branch off of the brachiocephalic trunk. And then next we have the subclavian veins. So as I mentioned before with the arteries, they're pretty much in the same place. And so this is the left and this is the right subclavian vein. And again, those lead into the external jugulars, and that's the subclavian veins. And last but certainly not least, we have the superior vena cava. So that's pictured right here. This is the aorta, the aorta that's right next to it. And this is superior vena cava. So this is, it has the subclavian into the brachiocephalic trunk into the superior vena cava. So that's where most of the blood flow from the head and neck, venous return comes into the heart. So those are a bunch of the blood vessels that I've described. And then now I'll talk about a disease of blood vessels, which one of them is atherosclerosis, which is a form of arteriosclerosis. So it's a hardening of arteries and makes them less elastic over time. So atherosclerosis, there's deposits into the walls of the arteries that form plaques. So when there's plaques that form, that narrows the blood vessels and makes them less elastic. And one of a really detrimental aspect of atherosclerosis is they can form thrombosis or embolism. So a piece of the plaque can break off and travel to the heart and block it, causing a heart attack. So that's an example, or a pulmonary embolism can go into the lungs. So those are some things that can occur from atherosclerosis, and some risk factors include, there's a whole bunch of risk factors. One of them is literally being a male. That's a risk factor. Or postmenopausal women, having type 2 diabetes, having high cholesterol, hypertension, and smoking cigarettes. Those are a bunch of risk factors for atherosclerosis. Okay, thank you.